Arancini are fried rice balls stuffed with a meat and cheese stuffing. They're absolutely delicious. They make a great snack, an appetizer, or I serve them as a meal. I love, love, love to have them for lunch. It's one of my favorite lunches. So I would love to prepare for you some arancini. The first step in preparing our arancini is to boil some white rice. I like to use pure saffron in the water as I boil my rice. Now I know that saffron has a reputation of being extremely expensive, and it actually is. It's one of the most expensive spices on the market. But you really only need to use like a pinch, and I really mean a pinch. This vial right here cost about $8, and I use only that amount, which is about a pinch, a quarter of a teaspoon. And I cook 4 cups of white rice. So really, it's not that expensive in the way that I use it. It gives the rice a beautiful golden color and a really delicious taste. Here I have our prepared rice, cooled. Best way to cool your rice, I find, is to put it on a cookie sheet. It'll cool much faster. If you want to make the rice the night before, you also can do that. So here we go. First, I'm going to add the 3 eggs to my bowl. Next, I'm going to add parsley, chopped parsley, about a half a cup. And I'm going to add about a cup to a cup and a half of fresh grated Parmesan cheese, because everything tastes better with cheese. It's my favorite. This recipe I learned from my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather actually really enjoyed making arancini on Sunday mornings. I'm not sure if everybody uses parsley at this stage. I like the way that it looks, so I add the parsley. I know that you definitely, most recipes you'll find will add the eggs. Cheese and parsley is just something that my grandmother did. I like to do it, and again, I always like my food to look as good as it tastes. So we're just gonna fold it in, get messy. Here I've put on some blue surgical gloves. This is one of my treasures that my husband brings home for me from his work. He's always bringing something home, and I'm always finding a use for it, so we call them Barry treasures. And I realized if I use surgical gloves and dip my hands in water, when I'm making my arancini, the rice doesn't really stick to your hand as much. It makes an easy cleanup also. So thank you to my husband for bringing me home my blue surgical gloves. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some milk to 3 eggs beaten. And we're just gonna mix this up. This is gonna be our egg wash. First, I'm going to dip my hands in water. That's another trick that I found that really, really helps. I also do this and use my blue gloves every Sunday when I make my meatballs. So my hand is wet. This scoop works great, an ice cream scoop. I found that when I use my ice cream scoops, my arancini all come uniform and they cook much better. So here we have 1 scoop of our rice, our saffron, cheese, and parsley rice. So we're gonna flatten it out like this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a scoop of our bolognese sauce that I've added some frozen peas to, about a cup of frozen peas. So it's a great way to use your bolognese left over from Sunday. You're gonna add a nice cube of fontina cheese. I love fontina cheese. It's the greatest cheese to melt. It has an awesome flavor. Then we're going to add another scoop of our rice right on top. See, now you see these in the stores, and you think in restaurants that they're so hard to make. They really are so simple to make. So we're gonna gently pat it. We're gonna form a ball the size of an orange. And it's okay if you see a little sauce here, don't panic. Grab a little rice. It's just like we're performing surgery on our rice ball with our surgical gloves. So here we have our ball all formed. Now I'm gonna gently roll it in our egg and then roll it in our modiga. So here's another way that we use our modiga. I told you that I use it almost every day in some way, shape, or form, and here's another way that I use it. So here's our first arancini. That wasn't so bad, was it? Okay, so now we're gonna place our arancini into our nice hot La Spagnola oil. So here's a trick that I discovered on my own. Use one of your little pastry knives and you loosen the arancini on the bottom so that it doesn't stick. It works really well. Sometimes if you have more in the pan, trying to get a spatula in there is way too big and you're going to break the arancini. We need to be very gentle with the arancini. So I think we're ready. You can see it's kind of golden. I'm going to give it a turn. Ooh, look at that. So pretty. As my daughter would say, Mama, so yum. These are frying up really nice. You can see our mudiga with the parsley and cheese and garlic. It's delicious. And right now, as these are cooking in the hot oil, that fontina cheese is melting, and wait until we cut into it. You're gonna really see what I mean of why I like to use fontina cheese. Normally I would fill this pan. Let's see, I could probably get at least 3 more into the pan. You can crowd the pan, but you just don't want them touching. So whatever size pan you're using is fine. And I have about 1 inch of oil, 1.5 inches of oil into my frying pan. Oh, these look gorgeous. I'm just gonna give one last flip just to make sure we're all even. And this one looks perfect. Lift it right out. And there we go, it's as simple as that. The cooking process is really quick. Once that oil is hot, it's minutes. And really, you can probably do in this pan, I would probably do 5 at a time. So now we're gonna plate our arancini. How I like to serve it is use some of the gonza, which is the filling that we stuffed the arancini with, onto the plate. This is a bolognese sauce that I made on Sunday, and I just added some frozen peas to it. It's a great way to use your bolognese leftover. I'm going to place an arancini right on top. I'm going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. We're going to sprinkle some basil. You can see the fontina cheese is melted and it's all oozing on the inside. It's so delicious. Let's have a taste. We were very successful. Those are delicious. I hope you enjoy.